Denise Danielle is known as the Able Alchemist, also as an author, chief nurturer. Today she's going to talk about hope and the power to heal. And she's going to do it in a couple of components. She's going to talk about the assess your SETT and the mindfulnesses of the ABCs. So after living with eczema for 3 decades, she's excited to share her healing journey with the world in her book, Heal Yourself, The Guide to Healing Your Skin Naturally. She began making her own facial serums and body butters in 2012 to avoid harmful ingredients, to include ingredients that rebuild the skin. Right now she's gutting at 1973 Airstream and will be hitting the road to help others find comfort for what Western medicine calls incurable disease. So I'm curious, what are you going to do when you're on the journey? Do you have a name for your journey? Do you have a name for your Airstream? And what's your purpose of your journey? And welcome. And if you want to find her, you can find her at ablesmallbatch.com.
Thank you, Sheri. I do not have a name for my journey, but I do have a name for my Airstream. Her name is Annabelle. So that's as close as I could get to able, which is my mantra. So. But I wanted a female name, so that's Annabelle. I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys here. All right. There. So hope and the power to heal. The idea is that one of the most important aspects of healing of any sort is hope, is the idea that you know that you can't heal. All right, well, the last page was a warning. So this is a good look into what happens when you have a severe eczematic reaction. It tends to be on your hands, on your feet, behind the knees, in the arm, the elbow creases. So eczema, if you haven't experienced it, is like 1,000 tiny little feathers, the tickling of the skin, extreme histamine reactions that seem unbearable and uncontrollable. So these are things that I've experienced many times in my life, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I was able to find peace for myself. So as I talked about earlier, we are able to heal ourselves. So able to me is a very powerful word, and finding that hope, like I was saying, is the most important aspect of your healing journey. You are told, if you have eczema by dermatologists, that you will never heal. I don't know how many times I was told that I could never heal, that it'll never go away, and they say things like, just stop scratching, or why don't you just put lotion on? Your skin's so dry. It's like, if it were that easy, why would I be in so much pain? Why would I be bleeding and crying myself to sleep? It's just not that easy. So once I realized that I was tired of listening to what they said, I decided that I was going to heal myself. So I'll start with assessing your SETT. And all this information is in my book. And I also walk through this information when I do the one-on-ones. So your SETT is your sustenance. And notice that I didn't just say food, because sustenance, it infers that it's actually healing, that it's good for you. Your ecosystem, your textiles, and your topicals or treatments. So sustenance. There are many foods that irritate your histamine. Spicy foods, gluten, dairy. I mean, it's different for everyone. Some nuts for some people stimulate your histamines, but there are also foods that help the proteins within your skin heal and rebuild themselves. So things like lamb, healthy fats, avocados, salmon, kale, nuts and legumes. green leafy vegetables. Tomatoes sometimes stimulate histamine. So you'll notice, and I kind of walk you through in the book too with this, you start to take notes on yourself, what foods you're reacting to, and they'll be different for everyone. So a histamine diet, things to avoid: citrus fruits, the gluten and dairy, like I said before, tomatoes, soy, things that are genetically modified tend to also stimulate histamines, I think because our body doesn't really know what to do with them. And like I said, just introduce some of the healthy fats or herbs that are great for cleansing, like cilantro and basil, putting those in your foods and your smoothies and things to help cleanse the skin. Cleanse the gut, because your gut is inherently what you see on your skin. Ecosystem. So I think when we hear ecosystem, we think of simply our home. We think of the world around us, when really it's a complex system or an interconnected network. So we're talking about your home, but we're also talking about your pets, your roommates, your family members. Some of these things can be toxic to your healing, and figuring out exactly what those, I call them triggers, are, is very important to your personal healing journey. Textiles. This is a big one for me, and this is something that I know is very hard to cleanse in your world. I have a few brands that I stick with, and if we do a one-on-one, feel free to ask me about the brands that I shop. They normally have a great sustainability report. They report their carbon, but these are also the same brands that are using organic fibers and that are using dyes that don't then leach into the skin. We don't think about our textiles as being poisonous until you actually react. A lot of people don't react right away. But I mean, think about your sheets. You're sleeping in them for 8 hours of the night. You deserve to marinate in something heavenly. So also in reference to textiles, it involves the detergents. Detergents, dryer sheets are extremely toxic. Any of those heavily scented washing beads, the things that make your clothes smell amazing. But they do have Ecos and other brands that do smell really good that won't provide any reaction to your skin. And then on to topicals and treatments. So topicals, as you probably know, is anything that you apply to your skin. It could be makeup, lotion, perfume. Treatments, we're talking about medications. We're talking about things in your home that you're inhaling on a regular basis. When it comes to topicals, you want to know what is in and on you. You want to know what ingredients to avoid, and I have a list of the bad ingredients that you want to avoid in makeup and creams and serums and perfumes. I've got that all on my website. You can download the sheet, so you've got it if you want to take it with you when you go shopping. Treatments I spoke about earlier, just medicines, medications that create adverse reactions. As most of you know, because I know most of you are in holistic avenues, that you're aware of the dangers of medication and the way they can affect your body. So that's something that I also walk my clients through when we're doing a one-on-one. Which brings us to the Mindfulness ABCs. I try to break things down in acronyms so they're a bit easier to digest. I love that I don't have to explain mindfulness to this group, but I also love being able to explain it to groups who aren't open to it and haven't really understood it. So the ABCs of mindfulness are awareness, belief, and care. Like I talked about earlier, we are in control of our healing. Once we decide that we're in control, then we can begin to assess the situation. So the first step is becoming aware of your issues. Hey, my skin itches when I'm sitting on the floor at my grandma's house. Or my face starts to itch after I do a presentation at work or when I'm on my way to work. Or there's this one shirt that always makes my belly itch, but it can't be the shirt, right? It's got to be something else. No, you're more than likely just responding to exactly what you first noticed. So becoming aware of the issue is incredibly important when it comes to healing. It's almost like that admitting you have a problem is the first step kind of thing. So I'm aware I am able. I am able. This is my favorite mantra. It's so empowering. It's deciding, you know what? I don't care what the doctors told me. I don't care what people have been telling me my entire life. I know that I am able to heal. And just saying that, I actually have it on the back of my business cards. It's a little affirmation card. Just remind yourself every day, I am able. Whatever it is that you're encountering, this thought in and of itself is healing. And then our C, which is care. So we had awareness, belief, and care. I give myself time and love for healing, for my individual healing journey. Deciding what care you need to heal yourself, because everyone's got their own plan. I know a lot of you meditate, so that's definitely part of my care. Working out, getting outside is very important to me. I notice that I just wither up if I don't get out in nature. So that's a big part of my care. That's a big part of my healing journey. So within my consultations, we talk about what helps you. You know, is it spending time with family? Is it painting? You know, there's different avenues of care for everyone, and there's no one solution to everyone's journey. So here I've got some pictures. I know we talked about Annabelle and my journey with her. So this was the top left is the first time that I saw her. On the way back from Michigan, I had an antique dealer looking for it for me. I told him what I wanted to pay, and he fought it down and drove it back from Michigan. So that's what Annabelle looks like on the outside, or looked like before I stripped her. The interior was still in there. So if you look at the lower picture, I ripped out all that stuff. It was poorly planned. It was really dark. The bathroom was really dark. I did drop all of it off at a barn, though, with a family who rebuilds Airstream. So the hippie side of me couldn't really throw everything in the garbage. So they're reusing pretty much everything that I dropped off, which is awesome. And then the other picture over there on the right is after I pulled out everything. I stripped it down to the chassis, and then I even stripped the chassis. So I scrubbed it and I stripped it and I refinished it, put everything back together. So top left is me cutting aluminum for a fender. Yes, I did it sometimes without gloves because you can just hold it better. But I learned so much. My background is in fashion design, my undergraduate. So I was used to patterning. So that kind of worked into my plan. But I did find out that you can't drape aluminum quite like you can drape fabric. Top right is the bed. I put a diagonal bed in there to maximize space, and you can see that I did some cutouts in the front. I just wanted a really happy, healthy, clean space. So I used low VOC ingredients. I used adhesives that were non-reactive. I used 100% organic wool for the insulation, which is the best decision I've ever made. And what else? Oh, down at the bottom left, that was a custom little Moroccan light that I made out of an old wine tasting dish. And I was just so proud of that piece. And then when I placed it on the side of Annabelle, I realized that you can't even see it because it's above the door. So I kind of like to look at that to remember what it looks like, since I can't really see it from the ground. And then the bottom pictures are where she's at now. So I wanted sliding French doors. I drove all the way to Paris, Illinois for them. And I wanted to be able to do pull-ups on the bar. So I did install a bar they slide on that's strong enough to hold me. And I've since then started painting and putting in flooring and things like that. So I'm finally getting to the fun parts. She's at the shop right now getting plumbing installed this weekend. So pretty excited. And then here's my stuff. So I've got facial serums, beard and body butters. I've got an eye serum. So I've got 2 facial serums. One of them is my all-time favorite recipe. I've been making it forever, and I will actually get out of here. I was going to do a before and after. Stop share. So this is the Luminous facial serum. There, I've got the Luminous and I've got an Ultimate facial serum. So it's essentially oil and vinegar. Some of my customers are like, "Can I have more of that salad dressing I love for my face?" So you shake it up because it's essentially oil and vinegar, and then you squeeze the dropper a few times so that it's mixed within the eyedropper. And I'll try to get close up so you can see, because it kind of gives you a rosy glow when you apply it. So I drop some of it in my hand. I don't know if you can see it. And it's just an instant, supple, yummy glow. And it's all you need. You ditch your makeup. All you need to do is feed your face happy stuff. So I've got, for the door prize, I've got one of the facial serums, and I think I will do 2 separate door prizes. I've got one of the Luminous facial serums that's valued at $25. And then I've got a beard and body butter. This is the Nourishing Beard and Body Butter. It's amazing. It's got shea, cocoa, kokum, and mango butters. It's got sunflower seed oil from right over in Wisconsin, and then it's got some sweet almond oil. And I do have it in 3 scents, so I might do, people get to pick the option of the scent. So if you'd like, we can do the door prize now. Write a number down. Okay.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah.
I was getting something to eat.
Oh, okay.
Does anybody out there in the audience have any skin issues or anything that you would like to ask her, or else you can follow her to her room, number 33, and you can have some private time with her. They're already throwing their number in the chat, so they're ready to go.
All right.
Okay.
So, and 39 is from the last piece. So
But you already wrote it down, right?
I did, but I'm trying to figure out which ones are from the previous.
So let me do a countdown, and I'll tell them to finish counting it, because I know what time it is, because you just started asking 1 minute ago. So any numbers that came in just now, starting from Storm, is the number.
So if you 756, because I put a couple M's to separate.
Perfect.
I'm a teacher. I do weird things.
All right.
Well, good girl. I know what time we started calling it out, which is this right now, like a minute ago.
We ready?
Okay, so anybody wants a session? Some products, we're going to do 1 product at a time. So you guys have 2 opportunities. Okay, so this is opportunity number 1. So we're going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and the number is
27.
Okay, so we got Lacey for the first one.
All right. So Lacey gets a facial serum, and Lacey, do they put their address in here, or how does that work?
They'll follow you to your room to get that information.
Okay, cool.
All
right.
So Lacey is number 1. Good, congratulations.
Okay.
Lacey Wilbanks.
So Lacey will get the facial serum, and then this next one is for beard and body butter.
So hopefully this is for a guy, or give it to someone that you like. Can it only be used for what? Can it be used for anybody?
Yeah, it's
Anybody.
beard and body. So it's conditioning. I even use it for deep conditioning in my hair. I'll let it sit in all day.
So it's unisex. Great. Okay. So another opportunity, starting with Storm. Go ahead. Beard and body butter, starting from Storm, going down. You can only win once a day, guys. If you guys want a copy of old recordings, we ask for $11 donation or more.
Okay.
Help us keep this going. You can listen to it anytime. Okay, so I'm gonna do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got some beard and body butter. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
97.
97.
Mhm.
Looks like we got Nicole Van Dyke at 67. And Trace Allen at 67. We got 2. Well, this is for Annette. So Annette didn't win yet. So we have 2. We have a tie. We have Nicole and I know Annette. I know. No, you're,
Everything below butter.
so it's from Storm. The
Right,
second-
yeah, I typed the word butter just above it just to make sure. So yeah, there's only one 67 that I see.
Yeah, Trace is 67, Nicole is 56.
Yeah.
Nicole Van Dyke is 67.
That's not what I see.
No, she's 56.
Nicole, you have yourself twice. Oh, that was the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys.
So who won? So who won that? That was Annette?
Trace.
Well, it's actually Annette. Annette.
Oh, it's for Annette. Okay.
Annette is they're both there together in the same room.
Okay. All righty. Well, I'll head into room 33 and get your information. It should be so good.
And you guys can follow her into her room for looking at her products, asking her questions, any Q&A that you want. And
Website down here if you guys want to check that out too.